Hello and welcome back to another alternative English online tutoring. I am your tutor, Mr. Hushito, and today I'll be explaining the poem Money Madness by D.H. Lawrence. I've written it here. The poem is titled Money Madness, D.H. Lawrence. I'm sure you've heard of this great author and poet, right? Okay, let's learn a little bit about the author first, the poet. D.H. Lawrence, born in 1885 and died in 1930, is widely regarded as one of the most influential writers of the 20th century, just very recent. Lawrence published many novels and poetry volumes, including during his lifetime, including Sons and Lovers and Women in Love. These are some of his works, okay? But he's best known for his infamous novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover, which was banned in the United States until the year 1959. This poem, Money Madness, is an evaluation of the madness for money in the modern times. As is very clear in the title, we're going to talk about money, which I'm sure you already know what is, and the madness for money. So the title suggests, the craziness, or how crazy or how mad people are about money, how we are influenced by money, and how it has this controlling power on us. These days, money holds more importance than anything else in the lives of people. The poet, through this poem, has tried to exemplify this situation and present the social and moral degeneration that such madness for a thing so materialistic renders. The poet does not like this idea, right? And even though this was written way back in the 20th century, I'm pretty sure it is still relevant even in today's society, even in the 21st century. So, how and in what way does money has this control over us, and in what way are people mad about money? In what way people are crazy about this thing called money? This poem also presents the situation. It exemplifies the situation and in the present, and the social and moral degeneration that money brings about. So let's take a look at the poem and find out more about how money is influencing us, how money is exerting its control on us, over us. Money is our madness, our vast collective madness, and of course, if the multitude is mad, the individual carries his own grain of insanity around him. He starts off by saying that money is our madness. Money is our madness. It is money that we are made for. And it is also our vast collective madness. It is the madness of the multitude. It is not just one individual or one person or one group of people or one ethnicity or one race or one country that is mad about money, that has this madness for money. But he says that it is every individual. Like he points out in the third line, the individual carries his own grain of insanity around him. This insanity is talking about the craziness or the madness about money. So he says every individual is crazy or is greedy about money, and because each individual has this greed, each individual has this craze or this madness for money. It becomes collective when we bring individuals together. Example, I am greedy about money. The person next to me is also greedy or wants more money. The third person also is has this madness for money. So what happens when it all comes together? It becomes a collective madness, and we all share this thing in common. In the second sentence, it says, "I doubt if any man living hands out a pound note." A pound is actually a currency of the Great Britain. So, I doubt if any man living hands out a pound note without a pang, and a real tremor if he hands out a 10-pound note. We quail, money makes us quail, it has got us down, we grovel before it in strange terror, and no wonder, for money has a fearful, cruel power among men. He talks about us. If we hands out a 1-pound note, which is like roughly equivalent to 100 rupees or a little less than 100 rupees. So, if we hand out that 1-pound note to someone, to a stranger, or to anyone, if we give them, and then if we give this 1,000 rupees, right? He says he wonders, he doubts if any man is willing to give that money away so willingly, without feeling anything in his heart, without a feeling of regret or not honestly wanting to give out that money. Okay, we quarrel. Money makes us quarrel. We're afraid because money makes us afraid. It has got us down. We grovel before it in strange terror. When it comes to money, many will fail, right? Many will fail when it comes to money. So it has got us down. We have placed this money on a pedestal, on a very high place that, when we see money, we're tempted. It's like we cannot control ourselves, and it's like we will do anything for money. It's like that. And that is how money has influenced us, and that is how money is controlling us. That is what the poet says. But then again, in the third stanza, he says, "But it is not money we are terrified of. It is the collective money madness of mankind." So why? Why are we afraid of money? Why do we grovel before money? Why do we want more money? He provides this answer saying that it is not actually this money that we are terrified of, right? But it is the collective money madness of mankind. And what does this collective money madness of mankind does to us? It is actually very cruel. For mankind says with one voice, "How much is he worth? Has he no money? Then let him eat dirt and go cold." See, that is the effect that money has on us, right? Because men will ask, "How much is he worth? Or has he no money?" In short, how much money does he have? If this person has a lot of money, then automatically he will gain a lot of respect. Everybody will respect him, everybody will love him. But if that same person does not have money, then the others will start looking down on him. No respect, no love for that person because he has no money. And that is exactly the reason why we are afraid of money. It is not the actual money, the paper that we are afraid of, the note that we are afraid of, but it is the mentality and the approach and the attitude of the collective mankind towards a person who has no money. So a person who has no money automatically is looked down upon by others. If he has no money, He writes, and if I have no money, they will give me a little bread, so I do not die, but they will make me eat dirt for it. I shall have to eat dirt. I shall have to eat dirt if I have no money. And this is very sad because, people will do things to you, for you, in the name of humanity, in the name of mankind. But is it really or genuinely coming from their heart, right? That they want to help or they want to let you not suffer? Is it that way or is it the other way around? He writes that it is the other way around because they will feed me, they will give me food, they will give me a little bread so that I do not die, but they will make me eat dirt for it in return. So now, a person who has been fed by people who have money is now indebted to them. He will have to eat dirt, not literally dirt, but he will have to be. Now it's like he's become a slave to that person who offers him bread, offers him shelter, offers him water, food, shelter, fire, and these things. And he will have to live like that, indebted to that person for the rest of his life if he has no money. So that is how the society is, that the poet is trying to point out. There is no honesty. There is no one who is genuinely trying to help others. Just like the instances which we saw some months back, right? When this pandemic started, so many people were left homeless. They had nothing to eat, and then some people took advantage of that, and then they went out handing out food packets and stuff like that, so that they can take a picture, right? It's something like that. It's not genuine. It's just for show. People will give him bread for show. Also because they want to exert their influence on this person, so that this person remains indebted to him for his entire life. And that is what the poet is afraid of. And this fear can become a delirium. If you look at the meaning of delirium, it says that an acutely disturbed state of mind characterized by restlessness, illusions, and incoherence, occurring in intoxication, fever, and other disorders. So this is actually quite dangerous, right? There is this stigma that remains with you as long as you are being favored, or you are being offered help by someone who is rich. It is fear of my money-mad fellow men. We must have some money to save us from eating dirt. He continues and says, it is fear of my money-mad fellow men. I want you to keep this in mind, money-mad fellow men. I hope, I hope you have your notebook and textbook with you, and a pen as you're listening to this explanation, like I remain always. He is not really afraid of money, but it is man that he is afraid of, the way that people will treat you if you have no money. That is what he is afraid of, because it is not a good treatment. Okay, it is not a good treatment. He will have to eat dirt for the rest of his life. He will have to remain indebted. So, because he wants to avoid that, in order to avoid that, we must have some money. And that is what makes, or how money becomes an important factor, an important element in our lives. It is not that actually need money. But we need that, we want or we need that money just so that we can save ourselves from the insults, from all those ill treatment from others, from other fellow human beings. And this is wrong, because bread should be free, shelter should be free, and fire should be free to all and anybody, all over the world. That is what the poet writes. He is of the opinion that all these things should be free. And the fact that we need money to save us from eating dirt, that we need money to survive, this concept is wrong. That is what he's saying. Bread should be free, shelter should be free, fire should be free to everybody in the world. And he closes with these 3 lines. We must regain our sanity about money before we start killing one another about it. It is one thing or the other. And this is very true, because money makes us mad. And that is also the title, Money Madness, right? Money makes us mad. There are so many instances, there are so many examples where people have died or people have committed murder and all these crimes because of money. They want money, they want more money, they are greedy, and because of that, when things goes wrong, we start killing each other, and money has corrupted everything. We can see clearly everywhere around us, everywhere we look, money plays a huge factor. Money plays a very big role in our everyday life to secure a job or for anything. If you don't have money, you cannot achieve anything. That is the kind of world that we have transitioned into. So the poet disagrees with this idea that money should be important. Instead, we should stop placing money on a pedestal. We should stop worshipping money. We should stop considering money as important, because it is not money itself that is important, but it is what humans has made money into. Humans have made money and used this money as a tool to control others, and it is because of this fear of being controlled or being insulted or eating this dirt that requires us to have money. So the poet disagrees. He wants the world to be a place where bread is free, shelter is free, and fire is free to everybody and all over the world. So that is the end of the poem, the Money Madness. I hope you have learned at least something from today's explanation. As usual, again, let's come to the internal portion, internal assessment. If you turn to page 54, appreciating the poem. This poem was written and published in 1929, and is an example of a romantic poem. Romanticism characterizes what is called a new kind of poetry with a new use of language. These poems seek to bring a change in the already established notion of poetry. The language used is clear and simple. In romantic poetry, the idea is to do away with the traditional norms of poetry and use simple language that can be understood by all, just like the poem which you have seen right now. So, Romanticism. If you look in the internet, you'll find a lot of answers about Romanticism. You'll find a Wikipedia page about Romanticism, so it is available everywhere and it is easy to understand. It simply means it is like a kind of movement or a revolution where this new wave of writers and poets, they started this trend. They started this thing like using simple language in poetry. If you look at the poetry or literature of the 15th, 16th, 17th century, even to the 18th century, to the Victorian era, you'll find that English, that the language was complicated, the language was hard to understand, and it's not just that, but it's the authors, the poets who tried to use very high-flown, bombastic language. It was like that because it was meant only for the upper class to be read, and not the lower uneducated class. But this is a new revolution, Romanticism. So, since we have already seen an example, in this regard, how clearly has the poet addressed the issue of money madness? Taking this into consideration, write an essay of about 100 to 150 words about how clearly the poet has addressed the issue of money madness in terms of language, not in terms of the meaning or in terms of the concept behind this or the message behind this poem, but in terms of language. Okay, how clearly has he been able to tell us about this poem with the use of simple language? So, after completing it in between 100 and 150 words, please make sure you write it neat and clearly. If you can even create a PDF file, a document file, and send it to my number. And of course, this is your internal. It carries it's part of your internal. So that is it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.